Hi guys, so Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, has described recently in interviews the mammoth task of distributing this new vaccine. Now, he said that he's going to invest hundreds of millions of pounds in the NHS to facilitate the distribution. He's talked about involving the army to help with the distribution. But we have to remember that this, the manufacturing of this vaccine is taking place in two sites. One is in the United States and the other is in Belgium. Now, Belgium, of course, is a member of the European Union. The UK is not. But the UK is acting pretty much like a member of the European Union during the transition period. Now, once the transition period ends, things are going to change. And it's very important that there are measures put in place to facilitate the movement of this vaccine from Belgium into the UK. Now, Matt Hancock was, of course, asked a question about this in Parliament. Let's hear how he responded.
Mira Wilson.
Mr Deputy Speaker, of course the news about the Pfizer vaccine is extremely encouraging and we're all hopeful that it's proved safe and effective and approved by regulators. If that is indeed the case, given that it's being manufactured in Belgium and as he has noted it has to be kept at minus 70 degrees at all times until shortly before administration, what arrangements is he putting in place to ensure that there is absolutely no delay of the supplies at the borders following the end of the Brexit transition period? Because any significant delay could, at worst, result in precious supplies being damaged and rendered useless, which could delay rollout.
Now, she asked a very specific question. What measures have been put in place? Okay, what measures have been put in place to make sure that rollout is unimpeded? Let's hear what Matt had to say.
Exactly.
We are, of course, we've looked at this risk, and I have confidence in our.
Okay, so of course we've looked at this risk. It doesn't sound very confident, but then he says we have confidence.
Plans to be able to deliver the vaccine, whatever the outcomes of the.
Does his body language actually instill confidence in you? It looks like he's tired. Maybe he's been up all night trying to think of a response to this.
Negotiations over our future relationship with Europe.
So he was asked a very specific question. What measures have been put in place? And he talked about, well, I'm confident that we will be able to deal with it. That's not a measure. The question was not... the Right Honourable, the Health Secretary, how confident is he in dealing with transferring this new vaccine into the UK? Yeah, I'm very confident that we'll be able to do it. We don't care about your confidence. We care about what measures are put in place. Now, I truly hope that Matt Hancock does actually have some measures, that he wasn't just hoping that the vaccine will be developed in the UK, manufactured in the UK, so that it wouldn't be necessary to import it and then Brexit wouldn't be a problem. It could actually go the other way, that you'd be able to use it as a bargaining chip with the EU. Oh, you want a vaccine? Well, then give us a good trade deal, or let us get out of our fishing waters or something. I truly hope that there are measures put in place, because if Matt Hancock was hoping that it would be manufactured in the UK and he decided, well, let's not put measures in place to deal with the fallout from Brexit when it comes to this, because whether there's a deal or no deal, this is going to be an issue. Matt Hancock saying he's confident everything will be okay. Matt Hancock said he was confident in test and trace. Matt Hancock said he was confident in the app. Matt Hancock has said he's confident in many things that turn out to be an absolute disaster. He's confident in Lady Harding's abilities to do her job. So when Matt Hancock says he's confident in something, and we know the history of it, and we can see his body language that he doesn't seem to be very confident about what he's talking about, I would be very concerned. Now, maybe my concern is misplaced. Maybe they do have measures put in place, but surely if they do, he would be able to explain these measures. Now, I hope during Prime Minister's questions that the leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer, would put pressure on the Prime Minister to describe what measures have been put in place. I hope it's one of his first questions and not one of his last questions, because what Boris Johnson tends to do is turn the last question into a moment to grandstand and just ignore all of the questions. This is very serious. A vaccine has been developed. A vaccine is now being manufactured. It has to be maintained at a particular temperature. Now, that may not be the biggest issue. The biggest issue here could be that it could be sitting in a lorry when it should be in the NHS facilities. It's not saving people's lives if it's sitting in a lorry. Now, Brexiteers voted for this. This was, when we talked about this in the past, they dismissed it as Project Fear. Don't worry, any vaccines or any medicines, there will be no restrictions. This is all just Project Fear. Project Fear, Project Fear, Project Fear. Now we're seeing the results of it. I truly hope that it was just Project Fear and that in January that there will be no restrictions. Remember, if there are problems, this is the guy you have to hold responsible. Boris Johnson is the other one to hold responsible. They decided this. They wanted this. So if it's an absolute disaster, they have to be held accountable. If things go badly, of course, they will blame the EU. But what measures have you put in place, Matt? I hope that more MPs will put pressure on him to explain what measures are put in place to make sure that this vaccine arrives to those who need it. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.